So welcome back to Paul's Bass Academy. I went fishing this morning on Watts Bar, and I had one of the best fishing trips that I have ever had. Okay, so it's mid-May, and the shad spawn is going on. I've heard about this phenomenon, but I have never witnessed it, and I'll tell you why. I've never been on the lake before that early in the morning. Well, maybe one or two times. To me, that is like stupid early, and it's hard for me to get up, but I've got a boat now, and I'm really crazy about fishing, so I'm going to be getting up a whole lot earlier, a whole lot more often. So I'm going to tell you what worked for me this morning, and then I'm going to go back tomorrow morning really early. I'm going to have all my camera equipment, and bugs everywhere. Get them suckers out of here. So I caught two fish this morning that weighed 2.22 pounds, both of them exactly 2.22 pounds, which I thought was funny. I caught another one that was probably 1.5 pounds, and then everything from there down to literally this picture that I'm going to put on the screen right here. This little fellow that was, as you can see, was barely bigger than my hand from here. What was he, 6 or 7 inches? So what was I using? I've already talked about the shad spawn and the phenomenon. If you don't know anything about that, there are plenty of people that talk about that online. I'd be wasting your time if I sit here and make another video about that. Other than to say, super early in the morning, right at the crack of dawn, the shad are up against hard surfaces and they're spawning. And the bass are going to find them, and the bass are going to be feeding like crazy on these fish. And so if you can find them, you typically can get into the fish. I found a dock this morning that had shad all around it, just busting the water and flipping their eggs up onto the post of this dock, and I could not catch a single fish on that. And I was really disappointed because I've always heard that if you can catch them doing this, that it's game on, that you're just going to catch fish like crazy. But that wasn't the case for me this morning. What did happen is about 200 feet further down the lake, maybe I'll put a photo up here of where I was fishing and saw them on the dock versus where I ended up and actually caught them where I didn't even see them. I was just fishing a bank, and I had a hit on top water. And I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, what ended up being the absolute magic bait. Ooh. Sorry, being silly. I ended up catching a fish on top water, and I thought, well, that's interesting, because it was nowhere near those fish, but it was on kind of a shallow point that comes way out into the water. And then all of a sudden, just a few feet from that, one would swipe at it and miss it, another one would come up right beside of it, and they would sort of both be debating on who's going to eat my bait. And it was fantastic. And what followed from there on for about the next hour, I think, was just non-stop action. I was catching fish on nearly every cast. My brother caught several. He missed a bunch at first. He was trying to use a fluke, and for whatever reason, they would not take his fluke. But the magic for this morning, which I'm also going to be using tomorrow morning again, was this guy right here, this popar. I don't know a whole lot about these. This one's got the little feather on the back with a little bit of red on it. I guess, I don't know if that's a frog or what pattern that is. What do you call that? Red lip pattern. He looks really happy. Whatever pattern this is, this was killing them this morning, but no big fish. I caught 2 fish that weighed 2.22 pounds each, like I said, on this. Just out of curiosity, because my brother switched over to a fluke and was missing several fish on that, and I was watching the action of his fluke, I said, I've got something that looks a whole lot like that. This dude. The Rapala Shad Wrap, it's an 09 slow rising that I can fish shallow. We were in shallow water, probably 3 feet deep at the most, probably more like 2 feet deep. And I knew that I could control this, keep this up off the bottom, and get it right in between the bottom and the top and work it in there. So I put this on, and I actually did. I had several hits on this and caught 2 of my fish on this, I think. I ended the day, I don't have it in my box. I ended my day with a shaky head and caught 1 more bass. So I had a terrific morning, 11 bass. I was absolutely thrilled to death. Got to see the shad spawn. It was awesome. And I'm going to try it all again tomorrow morning. And this time it's going to be me all by myself. Me and the papa are all by myself, all by ourselves, right? Yeah. Welcome back, bass fans. I'm here, it's early morning, I'm whispering. I don't know why I'm whispering. I hope the fish can't hear me. Let's get right to it. I can see some shad on a dock over here. I may take the camera in a minute and show you what I'm seeing. So I know the shad spawn is going on. Got one small issue. My coffee is cold by the time I got here. Yuck. I'm not a cold coffee person, so that's disturbing. Started this video yesterday and I was saying the shad spawn is in full effect. Where I just launched the boat, I could actually see shad flipping all around the ramp and the dock that's there. I actually saw one shad flip up onto the bank. They're so active and spawning. So I'm just going to kind of experiment. I don't really know what works best for this around these docks and stuff where I see these fish working. And just lost another one on this. Waited 3 seconds, jerked straight up, missed a fish. So I'm just about to throw this dude in the trash. That's the 4th fish that I've lost now on this. So this dude's about to go in the trash. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I absolutely cannot keep a fish on that. Somebody told me it's my line, somebody else told me it's the rod. I'm switching over to the popper. There's something right there, but I think that's a gar. I'm sure you can't see that, but there's a... See, I don't even have to set the hook with this popper. You really don't have to do the work. It does it for you. So there's one. Yes, he's a baby. Yes, he absolutely devoured the hook. That is the downside. If there is a downside to catching a fish, it's when he eats every hook. So There's number one, and he's quarter pound. Hopefully I'm getting some of this on the little bitty camera. Okay, so there's number one on the popper, and didn't miss him. I did not miss him. I missed the frog. Missed one on the frog. One hit this. I didn't even really wait at all. I saw the line. See, there's another one. And this is the better fish. This is the better fish. You don't miss them on this popper. That's what I like about it. And he's not going anywhere. The hooks are just buried up in this dude. And that's a better fish too. Yeah, I gotta love it. Oh, but I hate, I mean, when they get this, they absolutely get it. I need to start, don't you dare let that hook get up in your hand. There's fish feeding right over here right now. Okay, now that's more like it. I'm not going to weigh him, but pretty beautiful fish. Don't even know if that would be something you would weigh in at a tournament or not. Don't have a clue. That's number two on the popper. There's one. There's one. Another little bitty one. I'm telling you, these guys are stacked up in here like nothing I've ever seen. I do not want a handful of hooks, so I'm being very cautious to use pliers every time I can. The little one, hopefully I'm getting some of that on camera. I don't know what it is, but they love this popper. So as you can see, I spent the majority of the morning fishing with the popper. I tried that topwater frog, lost a fish on that, and got frustrated with that pretty quick, so I just put that away. I continued fishing for probably an additional 2 to 3 hours after that last fish that I caught. I tried a little bit of everything, but I mostly stuck with pumpkin seed worm on a shaky head, and I tried some points, and then I went back into a few coves, tried some docks, tried some trees by docks. I did catch one additional fish on that shaky head right beside of a tree, but I somehow messed up and didn't get that on camera. You'll also notice that I've got on a chest action camera, but I don't have any footage from that, and that's simply because I'm an idiot and I lost it. So I apologize for that. But thank you for watching my video. I hope you'll stay tuned for additional videos, and look forward to hearing from you in the comments. If you would, consider liking and subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Y'all have a great day. God bless.